As we move into the new year, I want to talk with you about some big Social Security changes that are being discussed for 2026. I know the start of a new year can bring a mix of emotions: hope, uncertainty, sometimes even anxiety, especially when it comes to money and retirement. If Social Security is part of your income, or will be soon, these conversations matter. Not because something drastic has already happened, but because discussions happening now can shape what the future looks like. So today, I want to slow things down and walk through what's being talked about, what's realistic, and what actually matters for you as we head toward 2026. No politics, no scare tactics, just an honest update. Let's start with the bigger picture. Social Security is facing long-term pressure. More people are retiring every year. People are living longer than previous generations. And the number of workers paying into the system is not growing as fast as the number of people receiving benefits. At the same time, retirees are dealing with higher costs across the board. Housing costs, food, utilities, healthcare, insurance, all of it adds up. Because of this, lawmakers are being pushed to look at Social Security from two angles at once. One, how do we make sure the program stays financially stable long term? And two, how do we make sure benefits are actually enough for people who depend on them? That tension is driving many of the proposed changes being discussed for 2026. One major area of discussion is benefit adequacy. Many lawmakers openly acknowledge that Social Security was never designed to be a retiree's only source of income. But the reality is, for millions of people, it is exactly that. Some retirees rely on Social Security for most, or even all, of their monthly income. Because of this, several proposals focus on increasing benefits for certain groups, rather than across-the-board changes. These discussions often center on people who worked for many years at lower or moderate wages, people who paid into the system consistently but still receive relatively modest benefits. There are also discussions about older retirees. People who have been receiving benefits for a long time may feel the impact of rising costs more than newer retirees. Some proposals aim to provide additional support to these groups. None of these proposals have been finalized, but the fact that they are being discussed seriously matters. It tells us that Social Security is not being ignored. Another major topic for 2026 involves how benefits are adjusted over time. Right now, benefit adjustments are based on broad economic data. Some lawmakers argue that this does not fully reflect the real expenses retirees face, especially healthcare. Healthcare costs tend to rise faster than many other expenses, particularly as people age. Because of this, there are ongoing conversations about whether future benefit adjustments should better reflect retiree-specific costs. These are complex discussions. They involve data, formulas, and long-term funding considerations. They are not quick fixes, but they are part of the broader conversation happening now. Before we go further, let me pause for just a moment. If you appreciate calm, straightforward explanations like this, and you want to stay informed as these discussions continue, consider subscribing. I'm doing my best to make sense of this information and share it in a way that feels clear and honest. Now let's keep going. Funding is another major topic being discussed for 2026. Social Security is funded primarily through payroll taxes. Currently, there is a cap on how much income is subject to those taxes. Some proposals suggest raising or adjusting that cap so higher earners contribute more. The idea is to bring in additional revenue to strengthen Social Security's long-term finances. Other proposals suggest modest adjustments to payroll tax rates. These ideas are controversial and face strong debate. If any changes happen, they would likely be phased in gradually. Historically, major Social Security funding changes are not implemented overnight. Congress is also discussing how to balance changes for future retirees versus people already receiving benefits. Historically, lawmakers have tried to avoid cutting benefits for current retirees. Most major changes have focused on people who have not yet claimed Social Security. That pattern is expected to continue. For people already receiving benefits, changes are more likely to involve adjustments or enhancements rather than reductions. Now let's talk about how Social Security interacts with Medicare, because this is something many people feel directly. Many retirees have Medicare premiums deducted from their Social Security checks. When healthcare costs rise, those deductions can reduce the impact of benefit increases. Some lawmakers are examining how rising healthcare costs affect net Social Security income and whether adjustments are needed to better protect retirees. This is an area to watch closely as we move toward 2026. Now, let me address something that often comes up early in the year: rumors. At the start of a new year, headlines often appear claiming benefits are being cut, retirement ages are changing, or checks are being reduced. As of now, there are no approved cuts to Social Security benefits for current recipients. There is no law raising the retirement age for people already receiving benefits, and there is no finalized legislation reducing monthly checks. That doesn't mean discussions aren't happening. It means nothing like that has been approved. Understanding the difference between discussion and decision is critical. Now let's talk about what you should do as we begin this new year. First, stay informed, but don't panic. Headlines are designed to grab attention. They don't always reflect reality. Focus on confirmed updates and official announcements. Second, understand your own Social Security situation. Know your current benefit amount. Know when you claimed or plan to claim. And understand how much of your income comes from Social Security. That context matters when evaluating proposed changes. Third, avoid making major financial decisions based on speculation. Claiming strategies, retirement timing, and budgeting should be based on current rules, not proposals. If changes are approved, there will be clear guidance and timelines. Now let me pause again and say this. If you want ongoing reliable updates without hype, make sure you're subscribed. It really helps the channel, and it helps me keep creating these updates consistently. Now let's continue. Social Security has changed before. The program has evolved over decades, and it will likely evolve again. Those changes are usually gradual. They are rarely sudden, and they are often designed to give people time to adjust. As we move further into this year, discussions around 2026 will continue. Some proposals will gain traction, others will fade away. Compromises will shape whatever changes eventually happen. For now, the most important takeaway is this: Social Security is very much on Congress's agenda. Benefit levels, funding, and long-term stability are being actively discussed, but no major changes have been finalized yet. Staying informed without overreacting is the healthiest approach. This channel exists to help you understand Social Security changes clearly, to explain what's being discussed, and to separate confirmed updates from speculation. If you want the very latest updates, click the video on your screen right now. That video will walk you through the most current Social Security news and changes you need to know. Thanks for spending this time with me. I'll see you in that update.